record video. There you go. So I'll just do a quick introduction, Jade. Hi everyone, it's Chris here from chrisjlander.com, and on today's YouTube video I'm basically running X-Plane 10 on a live stream called Pocket Live. So we got some live guests that are going to be chatting with me. You can't see their chat because it's like on the side, but we got a couple people we're just talking to. So it's going to be a pretty laid-back stream. Anyone that has any questions, like, feel free to ask. I'm not. Hey, Melrance, what's going on? Yeah, so it's just a laid-back stream tonight. I'm just going to be practicing a couple things because there's a lot involved with like running this flight simulator properly, and so yeah, we're just gonna we're gonna do some basic stuff tonight. So. Melrance, finally, what's going on? Melrance is a guest that comes in quite often. Hello, Melrance. Yep. Yeah, thanks for the coins, Jades. Any coins donated goes towards upgrading equipment for the live stream, so I'm going to be getting better sound, better lighting, better software, and yeah, so... which is exciting. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to demonstrate a landing. So I'm bringing the power back, okay? And we're still kind of far away. Just one sec. We're still up pretty high. Oh no. Okay, so I'm going to try to make this landing. So I'm going to bring the power all the way back to idle, and I'm going to put some flaps down. So one notch of flaps right away. Basically, flaps... what flaps do, it changes the wing, and it allows you to fly safer at lower airspeeds. Okay, and it also lowers your visibility, so you can see more. You can see more when you're flying. Okay, so I believe a Cessna lands at around 60 knots. So I got about 60 knots. So as I'm landing, my power controls my rate of climb and rate of descent. So the throttle on the airplane controls the rate of climb, rate of descent. Yeah, flaps. So flaps is, I'll show you what flaps are. Sec. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna right along. Oh, whoops. Jeez. It's too dark. You can't even see it. But flaps are this thing right here. So these are flaps. I don't know if you can see my mouse, but the flaps are it's right here in the airplane. And then these are the ailerons. You can see, awesome. Kimmy Evers, thanks for the follow. So yeah, so what we're gonna do, let's go in the plane again. 3D cockpit command look. Okay. So as we're landing, so we're landing a night flight. So these little 4 lights here, this tells me I'm too high. Okay. So these lights, when planes land. An airplane, pick is quite dark. Yeah, because I'm flying at night. I'm doing a night flight right now, so I can change the time, but we'll just do a night flight for right now. So those four dots means we're too high, but I got full flaps, and I got my power to idle. So hopefully we'll reach the runway. We'll probably land like mid runway here. Let's do the night flight. Okay, cool. Yeah, guys, when I'm streaming, I want to tailor the stream for you guys. So you guys let me know what you want to see, what you want to do, and I can kind of I can figure out like what we can do. So that's really important. So it's not just me streaming. I want to be able to provide value for you guys. So yeah. Yeah, it looks like we're going to be landing like halfway down the runway, which is fine because this is a bigger runway in Moncton. So there's the tower. Actually, we might have to overshoot. No, we'll make it. I think we're gonna make it. We'll see what happens. So what I would say to Moncton Tower, we're not even doing any radio calls yet, but I would say Moncton Tower, November 172 Sierra Papa, short final runway 11 for a stop and go. Roger, that's approved. You're clear to land runway 11. So we're clear to land. Yeah, this is 11. Yeah. I think, is that another plane? Just one sec. No, that's a windsock. Okay, clear to land. Clear to land runway 11. So 60 knots. So as we're getting close to the runway, I'm gonna go we're gonna go to cruise attitude. I'm gonna hold this attitude here, and then I'm gonna pitch up a little bit and add some power. Or no, we're not gonna add power. We're just gonna pitch up, pitch up, pitch up, pitch up, pitch up. There, we're on the ground, and then I'll put my brakes on. B for parking brakes. So brakes are on. There we go. So let's take off again. So park and brake off, full power. Now I'm using rudder to control. Oh, there's a deer. I think there was a deer on the runway or something. So I got full power. Oh, the simulator has deers that show up. I should probably turn that off. Okay, so we're taking off. So as I'm taking off, because I'm flying at night, I'm looking in my instruments. This is called the 6-pack, and I'm looking at my attitude indicator for nose up attitude. Yeah, I don't know why that deer showed up, but that's okay. So we got a nose up attitude, and I'm gonna bring 1 notch of flaps right away. And once we have 2 positive rates, so my altimeter showing a positive rate and my VSI showing a positive rate, we're gonna go full flaps. So why don't we do another circuit? We'll do that. Circuits are like fun to get teaching and stuff. So a circuit is basically like a pattern around the runway. It's like a triangle. So yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. So 1,000, I'm at 1,300 feet. So I need to go to 1,232. There we go. Sparkle Glitter Com, thanks for the follow. Okay. So there's the runway we're looking to land. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm picking a reference point like out here, which is like at a 90-degree, kind of a 90-degree reference with the runway. So a circuit, so I'll show you guys here. I'll show you what a circuit is. Hello! Hello, hello, I am Maria Stiles. Welcome to the channel. Welcome everyone. So my name's Chris. I have a blog, chrisjlander.com. I do tabletop gaming miniature painting. I'm also a trained flight instructor, and I also juggle for hobby. And I like to do fitness training, running, and mountain climbing. So I have lots of interests, and so I'm starting to live stream. I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. So here is the airport. It's pretty dark out. You can't really see. But what happens for pilots that want to do their first flight solo is they do something called the circuit. Okay, so they take off. They go to 1,000 feet above ground. Okay, above AGL, above ground. So the elevation here is 232 feet. So they go to 1,232 feet, and they do like a triangle around. Not triangle, but kind of a rectangle shape around the airport. So they take off, they get to about 1,000 feet, they turn here, then they turn on downwind, you go here, and then when you're at about a 45-degree angle, you turn here to base, and then you go on final. So that's called the circuit. Oh, I'm Maria Stiles. I'm glad you find it interesting. That's like, I'm doing this for you guys, so like, let me know like what you guys want to see. I was a Class 2 flight instructor, so I want to be able to just provide value for you guys and kind of share what it's like to fly, right? Because the thing is, the general public don't really know what's going on, right? Just one sec, I'll be back. Yeah, like the general public don't really know much about what's going on in a plane, right? So this could be an interesting way to kind of teach you guys a little bit. So yeah, because there is a lot to learn. I remember seeing Flight Simulator on Amazing Race, and it was really amazing. I was really amazed by it. Oh, that's awesome. That's cool. That's great. Yeah, so the flight simulator I'm running is called X-Plane 10. It's X-Plane 10. The new version just came out, but I don't have it yet. But we're going to run X-Plane 10 for now. All right, so I'm going to continue on the circuits, and we'll go from there. So I actually instructed people how to fly in this actual airport. There's a flight school here, and this is pretty much what I was doing here. So got lots of experience in Moncton flying. So I don't have the volume on tonight. For some reason, when I switched over to my speaker, the volume got cut out. So there's halfway up this beam is like a good reference point for the circuit. So my radio call here, basically my radio call, there's a person in the tower that's like in charge in this airport. It's called the controlled aerospace, controlled aerodrome. By the way, guys, if I do say anything that's incorrect, this is for entertainment purposes only. I'm not actively an instructor now. What I teach you guys, you can take the information, do whatever. I may like pronounce something incorrectly or whatever, but that's not, you know what I'm saying? Don't go out and fly an airplane after this. So if you do want to fly, you have to go and learn from an actual instructor. This is just for fun. Yeah, so let's show you guys the local map. So here is the, you guys laugh. You laugh, but you never know. Okay. So that was my first circuit. It was kind of a lot better shape, but yeah, that's okay. So around this area, like here, it's called a controlled airspace within where there's a person here in the tower who is basically telling everyone what to do. Okay? So I can't go and just randomly. Where are you from? I'm from Eastern Canada, and I live in Western Canada right now. I live in Vancouver, but I'm originally from this place actually, Moncton. This is called Moncton, New Brunswick. Okay. So Moncton Tower, November 172 Sierra Papa, left downwind runway 11 for a stop and go. And he goes, so the tower is going to say, okay, you're cleared. You're cleared. You're number 2. Follow the King Air short final. Number 2. Follow the King Air short final. Okay. So what happened now is there's basically a plane that's about to land, and I'm gonna follow him in. Okay. So I'm picking a reference point out here, flying towards it, and I'm checking my. I'm doing all this while flying a plane, which is a lot, right? I'm checking my altitude. I'm 1,000 feet above ground, which is good. My flaps are at cruise. And I'm going to do a quick left to right check. Checking my circuit breakers, lights. There you go. Fuel selectors on both. There you go. Okay, so I'm at a 45-degree reference point with the runway. I passed the plane I was following. So now I'm going to bring my power back to about 1,800 RPM. And I'm going to pitch up a bit. And then I'm going to put 1 notch of flaps right away. So we're at about a 45-degree reference point with the active runway. And then I'm going to go, we'll just put 1 notch of flaps, keep turning. When will you When will be your actual flight? I haven't flown in a little while. Like I just did some fun flights. I got an opportunity to fly for a flight simulator for a major airline, which was awesome. In Vancouver. But right now I'm just flying as a hobby. I have to get my license. I have to like pay for my license and do some like extra training, and then get my medical up to date, and then I'm good to go. So there's a couple steps I have to do before I start flying again, but it won't take long. Maybe I can live stream going to the airport and setting up for my flight. I don't want to live. I may not live stream the actual flight though. We'll have to see. Time will tell. Maybe we can live stream an actual flight. We'll see. So I'm at 60 knots. Okay, so that's my approach speed, and this time we're gonna land a little at a better like reference with the runway. Then Moncton Tower says clear to land, runway 11. Clear to land, November 1720. So my power is idle. Looking straight down the runway. Okay. That's a great idea, live stream an actual flight. Yeah, we may do that. Time will tell. It's an idea. I'm putting full flaps now. So full flaps in a Cessna, the plane's gonna sink. In the Diamond, the other plane I used to fly in, not so much, but in this plane, yeah. See how our rate of descent just increased? It's because I got full flaps. So I'm using a joystick. Yeah, we could maybe live stream an actual flight. I just don't, I have to be careful because like there's more elements to it. This is safe. I'm flying a flight simulator, so nothing can really happen. But talking to you guys while flying a real plane, that might be tricky. We'll figure it out, one step at a time. So cruise attitude, pitch up. There we go, we land it. Boom. Oh, there's the deer. I don't know why the deer are there, but it's fine. Okay, I'm gonna take off again. We'll pause this first. Let's go to another airport. We're gonna go to Halifax. So we're gonna change up the airport. Halifax, Nova Scotia. And I wanna do something else, guys, for you guys. Halifax. Halifax International. You might hit another airplane if you do the live stream on a real plane. Yeah, exactly. There was one guy today who was live streaming when he was driving, which can be like, there's a hazard there, right? So you got to be careful. He was outdoors, and yeah. All right, here's Halifax. So what I'm going to do next as well, I'm going to put the actual radio. There's a website where you can actually listen to live radio calls. So I'm going to go pull that out for you guys. So stand by. So we're going to go to www.google.com, and then we're going to go listen to live. Exactly. Yeah, driving while streaming is dangerous. Absolutely. They would have to, yeah, because you're messing around with a phone when you're driving, right? It could be like, it's like texting and driving, right? So it's definitely a hazard. So Halifax. Halifax Tower, live ATC. CYHZ, there we go, we got it, boom. And then we're gonna go ahead and listen. Try this one. This will be minimized. Wouldn't work. Okay, we'll try browser. This one will work. I don't think it's working. Let's try MP3 player. No, I don't have an MP3 player. Browser. To view the Flash MP3 player, please update your Flash player. Okay, we'll update that, allow, and then you guys can listen to real radio calls that are actually happening. We'll minimize it. Okay, so this is at Halifax. Let's just look over the map. What program is this, by the way? This is called X-Plane 10. Okay, this is X-Plane 10. This is at Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada. And I'm flying a Cessna 172. So this is a single engine aircraft. And we're flying at night. So one thing we're going to do too, I'm going to get the audio so you guys can hear a little bit of the engine, what it sounds like. Sound. You love flying at night? That's awesome. Why is the music audio not working? It should be. I think because I switched over to my speakers. We might not have any audio for tonight. It's okay. At least I can talk to you guys more. It'll be less distraction, I guess. Speakers, real-time audio. It's the actual flight simulator. Let me try rebooting the flight simulator. Let's try that. I'm gonna reboot it. Stand by, everyone. Stand by. Won't be long. Everyone, we'll get the fly. Don't worry. Let's see here. X-Plane 10. Oh, it's right here. Hefty Hideaway Girl, welcome to the stream. K-Hearts 0099, thanks for joining. Delayed, yeah, we're delayed. It's okay. Okay, we should hear the music now. If not, then we'll have to fly without it. Not music, I just want you guys to hear the engine and stuff. There we go. I can hear it. We also have Kermit the Frog. I don't know if you guys saw my picture, but I have Kermit the Frog's also a he streams with me. I'm Kermit the Frog here. So for entertainment, I have a frog that lives in my house that likes to. He's kind of he likes to be the center of attention. So, what's going on, Kermit? Hello, Kermit. Hey, Marie Lifestyles. Welcome. I'm good. Kermit's good. He came here from the Amazon, but it's really I bought him from Amazon.com. So yeah, Kermit is It's just me and Kermit in my bachelor pad here. So, what do you think, Kermit? Sometimes I let him drink Coke too, sometimes, but not too much. He can get really hyper. So, all right, Kermit, you nervous or are you ready to fly? He seems excited. Okay, guys, so we got this set up. So now you can kind of hear the music. No worries. Okay, so here is the 3D view. So if you're ever flying a flight simulator, if you go and click on 3D cockpit command look, this allows you to actually look around as if you're really flying. I recommend that if you are using a flight simulator. If you use, if you turn this off, you can't, wait just a sec. If you do a regular in the cockpit setup, like this, you can't like move around as if you're actually like in a plane. So I'd recommend this view here. Have you been on a real one? Khearts 099. Yeah, I was a flight instructor for 2.5 years, 3 years. So I'll show you guys my logbook. So here is my pilot logbook. So I got 2 of them. This one filled up. This was when I was a flight student. And then I got this one. So when you are training to be a pilot, or if you are pilots, every flight is logged. So you have this. Basically, you put the plane you're flying, the date, the aircraft registration, pilot and command, co-pilot, the route, single engine, multi-engine, instrument cross-country, numbers of takeoffs and landings. So that's what you can do. All right, I am Marie Stiles. Talk to you soon. So yeah, that's. So we still haven't heard anything from Halifax on the real radio calls. I'm just wondering if it could be just no one around. Sometimes, I'll see here. I think we've been listening for like 2 minutes. There could be just no one around at the airport, which is a possibility. But this is the actual airport, CYHZ. So the time here is at 1 Zulu, winds are 130 at 13 knots. Visibility is 1.5 statute miles. So if we were flying VFR in real life, we wouldn't be able to take off. Late snow showers and rain, mist, overcast at 300. Temperature 11, dew point 11. Altimeter 2982. So I'm gonna have to change the weather because I won't be able to actually take off like legally if this was real. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna change the weather. Because it's too crappy weather. So we're gonna go to clear, so no clouds. There we go. Nice clear sky. Can't really see any stars, but that's okay. I don't know why the stars aren't out. Okay, so let's go take off. So my park and brake is off, so you can see here the brakes are on. So we're going to take the park and brake off. And let me put the correct altimeter setting. Just 1 sec. So altimeter setting is 2982. So we don't have the correct altimeter setting, so we'll do that. There we go. So 450 feet. Yeah. Okay. Okay, park and brake is off. I'm adding a little bit of rudder to straighten the nose. we got full powers achieved, airspeed's alive, temperatures and pressures are all good. I'm looking straight down the runway. 60 knots, I'm going to rotate. So I'm going to pitch up. A little bit windy actually. Full power. And then nose up attitude. Because we're flying night, I'm going to be using this instrument a lot more than if we were flying daytime. Let's turn the volume down a bit. So let's do a climb out to, we'll just climb out to 4,000 feet. So we'll do that. We'll keep this climb going. Put the flaps up. Flaps are already up. We took off with no flaps, which is fine. It's not the end of the world. But usually I would have a checklist to follow, but I don't have one with me. My checklist is somewhere, but. Oh, there we go. You can see the stars. It's beautiful out. Look at that. Thanks for the like, Hearts. Appreciate that. Alright, so we're at 3,000 feet. We'll keep climbing till 4,000, so 1,000 more feet to go. And then once we're at 4,000 feet, we'll decide what to do next. So what I'm using is a joystick. So if you are going to run a flight simulator, it's good to have a joystick. And you also may want to get some rudder pedals. That would be pretty ideal. But I would start with a joystick first, because you can control the rudder pedals with the joystick. So that's Rafaela, thanks for joining. Welcome to the channel. So we're at 4,000 feet now, so here we go. So how do we do, we're climbing out, we're going to level off, so we go attitude, cruise attitude, pitch nose down. Okay, we let the airspeed climb a bit. Then I'm going to bring the power back to about 2,300 RPM, 2,200, to a cruise attitude setting, and then I'm going to trim the airplane. So attitude power trim. Okay, so I'm trimming. What I'm doing, it's like I'm clicking. In the Cessna, the trim is this wheel here. What that does, that sets the control column. This is called the control column. This wheel controls this, and it sets it in place. So that means you can fly without like holding onto the joystick, or you know what I mean, if that makes sense. So that's what I just did. I basically trimmed the plane. This looks like a hardcore flight sim. Yep. They actually use this actual simulator in some NASA uses it, and also a major airline uses it for their training. So it's pretty realistic. You can even see cars drive by. So yeah, it's called X-Plane 10. X-Plane 11 just got released this year. I don't have X-Plane 11, but I got X-Plane 10. So the new one's even more hardcore. So we're losing some altitude, so I'm just gonna fix that. So because it's less than 100 feet, or sorry, it's more than 100 feet, I'm gonna go and set up for a climb again, and then I'm gonna readjust. What kind of controls is your setup? Yeah, so I'll show you guys what I'm using. I'm actually using a joystick. It's called the Thrustmaster. So I can maybe show you here so you can see it. So I'm using this right here. That's it. I don't have any rudder pedals. So to control the rudders, I'm just turning this joystick left and right. So yeah, that's what I'm using. Okay, there we go. So I'm leveled off at 4,000 feet. I'm also using a gaming PC, an Asus high-end gaming PC. We're at 4,000 feet, straight and level. Winds are pretty calm out here. So I'm just gonna follow this highway, and then we'll turn around, and then we'll fly back. Maybe do some. We can do anything we want, right? We can fly day, night. We can change airplanes. I'm not really using a checklist, but you're supposed to use like an actual checklist, but that's okay. One step at a time. I can keep like adding levels and levels and levels to this, but for now it's just having fun with it. I don't have the right frequency set up. We didn't really hear any radio calls in Halifax. That's pretty interesting. Let's see here. Basically what I did, I overlaid this with the actual radio calls, but there's nothing going on, so let's see here. Let's see what else we can find. Let's go to Canada. Let's go listen to another airport. What about Vancouver? That's where I'm living. Vancouver should be pretty active, and it's also daytime in Vancouver. Let's go to Vancouver. Let's see if they have it. Live ATC. So it's CYVR. So we're going to punch in CYVR. Do they live stream ATC calls? Yup. So this website I'm going to is, this is live. So the feed status is up. Can you guys see this browser? Can you guys see this? I'm pretty sure you can. You see this, right? I have the Google or Chrome or whatever up. So you guys can see it perfect. Okay. So this is called liveatc.net. This allows you to listen to radio calls in real life. So we're going to go and listen to Vancouver. Do you actually fly? Yep. Yeah, I was a flight instructor for a couple of years. I haven't been teaching recently, but I got some friends that fly for like WestJet and like that I went to school at the same time. But I got out of aviation for the time being.
Delta Hotel Delta, descend via star 5000.
There you go. So we can hear so CYVR approach and departure. Departure. So we'll listen to that in the back. Let's go to that actual airport. So CYVR.
Delta Hotel Delta, descend via star 5000.
So we're listening to this airport here.
Question 553 descend via star 5000. Delta Hotel Delta, contact Vancouver Bravo 133.1. 331 Delta. Question 553, contact Vancouver Bravo 133.1.
So it sounds like they're handing, the controller just handed those planes off to another. Okay. So this is Vancouver.
Vancouver departure, passenger 715 with users climbing to 1500 for 7,000 and run beginning. I took on 6,000 in the final. Stop climb 6,000 and step for 5317 on course. Passenger 715.
I should probably get my checklist out. It might be a good idea. Just one sec, guys. I'm gonna go grab my checklist for this plane. That way it's... I have my parking brake on. Be right back. Okay. So I'll show you guys here. This is basically a checklist that when you fly, basically tells you what to do on each section. That way you don't forget anything. So like there's a before takeoff checks, there's takeoff checks. So it's good to have. I basically just printed a basic checklist off of the internet. So that will kind of help us a bit.
Actually, using Glacier 598, climb 1,800 for 7,000.
Okay.
Straight up 8,000 Glacier 598.
So we'll do our before takeoff checks. Flaps. Takeoff flaps are up. Carb heat cold. Transponder set to altitude. Transponder alt. Where the hell is that? Oh, right here. So we'll click that over. Trim set for takeoff. So what we're going to do is I'm going to, for takeoff on the Cessna 172, you basically want this line here a little bit above the triangle, or the triangle here. So you want this a little bit above. That will give you a nose up takeoff attitude. Okay? So this little wheel here is attached to this control column. Okay? So if I go like this, when I take off, the plane's gonna shoot up in the air. If I go like this, the plane's gonna, the stick's gonna want to go down, which is very dangerous because I just took off, right? So it's really important to get a nose, like a nice nose up attitude for a takeoff, basically attitude for taking off. It was a little bit notch up or down the triangle. I can't remember. It's been a while since I've flown, but I think it was a little bit above that gave it a good nose up attitude. Okay.
And Vancouver looked at the 477 out of 1,042 says.
Okay. So flaps are up.
The 477 climbing 16,000.
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go full throttle. As I'm going full throttle, I'm checking my tachometer, oil, and airspeed. Okay. So I'm checking all my instruments. At 55 knots, I'm gonna lift off, and then I'm gonna climb at 70 to 80 knots. Okay?
477 out of 3000, I'll rise at heading 310.
So let's take off. So we hear full power, airspeed's alive, that means our airspeed indicator is working, temperature pressures are all good. Okay, so at 55 knots I'm going to lift up. Here we go. We're airborne, and then at around 70-80 knots I'm just going to climb out at this nose up altitude. Notice how like the plane took off, and see my hands? I'm not flying, I don't have my hands on the joystick, right? Because I set the trim, right? I set this properly and allows the plane to kind of fly itself. I'm doing small adjustments, okay? But if I don't set that properly, I have to hold on to the stick and that takes a lot of effort, right? So that's one of the, I guess, ninja secrets that pilots know, that you trim the plane and it helps. It basically helps you give the attitude you want, okay?
Right, 350.
So you guys can see my joystick here if I, there you go. So you guys can see what I have set up.
Departure at 239, 1600 times 7,000. Discretion up to 15,000, right? 2239. Out of 3, heading 140, right? 2239.
American 2369 calling RJ, you're 9 o'clock and 5 miles.
Yeah, this simulator is pretty realistic. And then when you hear the radio calls too, it just makes it even more like, it's pretty crazy.
Jazz 621, you're 7 from total when you're at total, speed 170.
Pretty crazy.
Contact tower 11955.
That's 477. Bye-bye.
So I'm just going to lower nose down to kind of cool the engine a bit, and also to help with visibility, just to see what I can see. And then I'll just pitch up again. We're not even doing radio calls today, so that's another element too. So there's a lot to do when you're flying. We'll climb to 4,000 feet. So we're at 3,000 for 4,000.
American 2369, descend 2,000, turn left 290, clear straight in, ILS approach runway 26 right.
So those guys are landing. The airport behind us. Look at that. Look how realistic that looks. Isn't that crazy? Holy frig. There's the mountains in Vancouver. Chung Lee, welcome. Thanks for the follow.
Roger. Traffic is 12 o'clock, 6 miles ahead.
There we go. All right, 4,000 feet. So I'm going to lower the nose, attitude. Then we'll bring the power back, and then we'll trim the plane.
Level 3000, direct up.
Aircraft 284, runway 26 left, heading over 015, vectors to bound.
26 left, heading 015, vectors to bound, course 084.
American 2369, you're flying from total when you're at total speed 170 knots or less.
Roger, sir, and that's present position direct now to David.
Now Charlie, altimeter 3019.
Oh, there you can see the airport. You can see the airport really well here. So that's the Vancouver airport. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna follow the lake. There's a really good training area out here. So I'll fly out towards there.
Aircraft 284, VFR traffic at your 1130 position, 6 miles, leaving 4,507.
So now we're at our cruise, so we can do our cruise checks. Pitch is set, throttles is required, trim is good, mixture is adjusted. So we'll just keep the mixture full, Rich. So next will be the pre-landing checklist. Pretty sure the training area is like in here. Or is it more down? It could be farther down. I have the map somewhere on my table. I just don't want to move too many things around because I do tabletop gaming miniature painting as well, so I don't want to move too much stuff around. All right, I'm going to show you guys. Let's do a steep turn. Okay, so a steep turn. I'll do a steep turn at 45 degrees. So we're still kind of in like a. Actually, we should probably wait till we're in the air training area, because in real life, you can't really do steep turns when you're in like a. I don't have the map. I should... see if I can find it. Okay.
You're following super by about 15 miles from like 26 right, 10 by the start, 5 guys.
So we want to go to Pitt Lake. Pitt Lake is a training area for when you're training out of Pitt Meadows. They also have Indian Lake. Let's see here. Okay, so once we get to that little island piece there's 2 island pieces, so boom, boom, we'll follow that lake up there. Okay, so Pitt Lake is actually in here. We're pretty close. We'll just follow this lake in here.
26, runway 26 right, 10 by the start of 10,000. That's 26 right, speed restriction on your arrival is not required.
Okay, so we're going to go into Pitt Lake. pause the simulator one quick sec here. Just 1 second, everyone.
River 5, if you can send by the start 3000, clear to straight in ILS, runway 26 right. For 3184, not below 2000, fun.
Not below 2000, still final, of course, 3184.
3184, you're 8 from the airport, speed 161, you're 4 back, contact Tower 187.
Retard 7 and 164 back, Encore 3184, good night.
Bye now. Line 6, thank you. Just be advised, company flight number 126 is coming in from the southeast of Saudi Island. Has 126 runway 26 right. Be advised, company flight line 6 is coming in ahead of the summer Saudi Island.
Neron Bula, welcome to the stream. Thanks for the follow.
Runway 26 left, heading 015 vectors to file.
26 left, heading 015, 78.
Okay, so we're almost in the training area. So what I would do now is switch over to...
Parker, evening here, Canada 248.1.
Unless you have the super insight. Okay. Jazz 126, descend unrestricted 8,000. Jazz 7 heading 360 for 7 off on. Roger, advise airport in a second. Clear. Jazz 186 should be number 3, serve reduce back to 210 knots.
Alright, let's switch up the view too so you guys can see other... So here's another view of the flying.
Departure good AOS at 458 with you. We're on the Georgia departure 2000 Southwest.
12 o'clock, maybe 11:30 now, it's 6 miles northeastbound below you. Thank you.
Heading 140 Washington 458.
3005, start 30 ILS, runway 26 right.
Best view's probably in the plane. So once we get into this area, we'll do some training exercises.
Speaker 5 at the at your 930 position and about 9 miles to the dash 8 will be beside you on the south runway.
So at this point, we would not be listening to the Vancouver frequencies that you hear. We'd be switching over to the traffic advisory frequencies in here. So basically, what it is when you're...
Time 12000 out of 3000, left turn 140 with 1790.
When you're doing training exercises in here, you basically want to make radio calls to other people to let them know where you are and what exercise you're doing, what altitude you're at. That way you don't get into a collision with someone, right? So, but for this, we're just gonna keep listening to the Vancouver frequencies.
You're 6 from totem, contact Tower 11955. Aircan 227, the Super's about 170 knots, might turn back to speed to 170 knots. That's 186, it's a 9 shift to 4,000.
Rest 64, Jazz 186. 170 now, heading to 190.
We'll keep climbing here for a bit.
Okay, really not much more. Go to 35, 32, and yes, we will.
Third visual 26 left.
Yeah, we see her out there, and to the final, good visual 26 left.
Departure, good evening, Encore 3258, we'll be climbing through 1600 to 7000 Vancouver now.
But now you're 9.5 now behind the super. Jazz 186 and 4000 speed 190 now.
Okay.
Roger. You're following 8320 southwest. Jazz 787 on the airport street back to 160 knots or less. Contact tower 187.
Jazz 78 over the tower.
Jazz 126 descend unrestricted to 4000.
Unrestricted down to 4,000, does 1.6.
Roger.
So I'd be coming up to the reporting point. So the frequency. Let's see here.
Jazz 186 descend to 3000.
3,000, Jazz 186.
Roger.
Atmosphere chilliwack. Do they have it on here? Nope. I'm just not going to worry about it. So I tune into the training area frequency, and yeah, I'd say traffic. So I'd say traffic advisory on whatever frequency it's supposed to be. Reporting over Swan Set. November 172 Sierra Papa is reporting over Swan Set 6,200 feet, and just say we're going to be doing like training. I'd say like 8,000 feet and below in over in Pitt Lake. And I'd say any conflicting traffic, contact November 172 Sierra Papa. So that's what I would be doing. And then there's another training, there's another traffic report. I think we almost passed it actually. So let's see here. Yeah. So we're in the training area now. So this is a designated area where you can do like different exercises. So we'll do that. So first thing we're going to do, I'm going to show you guys a steep turn. So I'll show you guys what that looks like. So before, it's me, welcome to the channel. Before doing a steep turn, I'm going to make sure I'm good. I'm looking for other airplanes. Okay, looking up and down. Okay. Steep turns are usually done around cruise altitude, around 2200 RPM. So I'm going to start my steep turn at 030, and then I'm going to recover at 030. Okay? So from 0 to 30 degrees, all I'm doing is I'm turning the plane like this, and at 30 to 45, I'm going to pitch up and add power. Okay? There we go. Fuck the other planes you own there. Yeah, I do. I'm the only in the simulator. I'm the only plane. That's true. That's true. Okay, so I'm doing a steep turn. 45 degrees angle of bank. I added a little bit of power to maintain the correct airspeed, and I'm climbing a bit, so I'm gonna pitch down a bit. Here comes 030. So I'm gonna now recover. Boom. There we go. So that was a steep turn to the left. Yeah, I own the air. Okay. Welcome to the stream, it's me.
What is your speed now? Very good. And the Cirrus 170 now looks like the bus is slowing. Contact tower 11955.
Can you fly with others or not this game? Yeah, you can fly with other people. I'm just gonna turn the. Just a sec. This might be a little bit distracting for you guys. We're gonna pause that for now. What you guys were hearing in the background was the radio at Vancouver International, which is behind us. But in the training areas, you'd just be listening to other people in the area. So yeah, in X-Plane 10, you can fly with other people. During the Christmas time, I was setting up flying with 2 people in one airplane, in the same airplane. We had that kind of set up. So, okay, I'm gonna do a steep turn to the right. So I'm gonna go clear right. Just do a quick left to right check. Flaps are good. Everything looks good. Okay, so here's a steep turn to the right. So from 0 to 30 degrees, I'm just pivoting. At 30 degrees, I'm pitching up and adding power. And then I'm holding that 45-degree attitude. So if my airspeed goes up and down, I'm just adjusting with pitch, like that. And I'm looking out. A nice 45-degree angle with the dashboard and the horizon gives you a 45-degree angle inside. So I'm pitching down. So this is it, holding this attitude. Okay, I'm losing altitude, so I'm pitching up a bit. I'm making small adjustments to my control column. And I'm going to recover at 120. I think I was supposed to recover earlier. In a flight test, I would have blew over that recover point, and that would have got dinged some points or whatever, but that's okay. Okay, next I'm going to show you guys a stall. Okay, we're going to stall the plane. So before I do the stall, I'm going to do a Hazel check. So height's good, area is good for stall security. I'm going to make sure my seatbelt's fastened. Everything's put away in the back of the plane. All the chocks are put away. There's nothing that could fly and like hit me by mistake. Engine, I'm going to do a left to right check. So keys on both, good. Lights are good. Rudders are good. Mixture's full rich. Fuel selectors on both. And then I'm going to do a lookout. So as I'm doing a lookout, I'm just going to pitch the plane around, look around. Making sure there's nothing, no other aircraft. Okay, because we are going to stall the plane, so I don't want to hit anyone. Okay, so let's do a power off stall. So we'll bring the power all the way to idle. We'll do it at a heading of north. Here we go, guys. So this is what a stall looks like in a plane. So all I'm doing, I'm pitching back, pitching back, pitching back. You're going to hear a horn, and that's basically the stall warning horn from the aircraft. At that point, the plane's pretty much stalled. So I'm pitching back, pitching back, pitching back. Control rudders. There's the stall horn. So we're stalled. Now I'm going to recover, pitch down, add power. Pretty easy. Wasn't so bad. Alright, let's do a spiral dive. So a spiral dive, we'll say, for a spiral, do you have to do a Hazel check for a spiral? I can't remember. I don't think you have to. I'm trying to remember. I don't think so. So, let's say you're flying the plane, you're flying the plane, you're flying the plane. Oh, look, hey, you're looking at the reindeer, or the reindeer, what the hell? You're looking, there's a beach, you see all the people, you're getting distracted. You're pitching the plane. Oh, I'm distracted, I'm distracted. Oh, what a nice day out. Uh-oh, the plane's in a spiral dive. Airspeed's rapidly increasing. We're going down, we're going down. So to recover, power to idle. Wings level, and then ease out of the dive nice and slowly without breaking the airspeed limitations. Okay. And then once we're at a safe airspeed, I'm going to go and just add some power. There we go. We recovered. Okay, let's go and turn on the Vancouver radio back on. and let's go fly back to the Vancouver airport. I'll let you guys decide. Do you want me to go back to the airport, or do you guys want to see a simulated engine failure and what to do in that situation? I'll let you guys decide. So first one to type airport, we'll go to the airport.
070, please.
If you guys type simulated engine failure, I'll do a simulated engine failure. If I don't hear from you guys, then I'll just pick myself. I'll give you guys a minute. You decide. You guys are the actual deciders of my stream.
Security 532, Glacier 1758, good night.
Jazz 126%, 2000, heading 290, clears 3 on ILS, 26 right.
No one wants to decide. Okay, I'll have to decide for you guys.
Jazz 212, descent.
30 seconds. I'll give you guys another minute. You guys can decide in a minute.
At 3000, speed 190, you're following another.
We can either go to the Vancouver airport or I do an engine failure. Simulated engine failure. Still no response. Okay, we're going to the airport then. Unless someone says something in the next little bit. Because there's a lot of area. There's a lot of places we could do a simulated engine failure. This guy decides on where your fuel is getting siphoned to the engine. So on both, that means I'm collecting fuel from basically the left and the right engine. So there's fuel here. There's fuel here. Hey, Mullerance, welcome. So yeah. So right now I'm collecting fuel from both the left and right engine. Mullerance, what's going on? How you been?
Jazz 212, arrival 1331.
So, yeah, if I go and select here, I'll show you what happens. So now I'm just collecting,
Jazz 669.
plane's still flying, right?
Speed restriction not required.
Hey Malorance, how's your day going? Hope all is well. So yeah, we're getting fuel from the left engine right now.
55, you're following and dashing west of Mouse, contact arrival 1331.
This seems cool. Yeah, we're flying in Vancouver today. So if I switch over here, we're going to get fuel from the right engine.
Jazz 1265 from total and total speed 170 knots.
There we go.
126 contact power 1195.
Now we're getting fuel just from the right engine.
Station 572, descend on restriction.
Now if I go to off, then the plane's going to go and have an engine failure.
572.
Okay.
Well, I'll just have a regular day. Oh, that's okay. That's cool. Nothing wrong with that. Regular days are good. So let's go to, let's go on both.
7,000, 12,500, that will be approved.
Let's keep the fuel on both.
Station 572, you're the site.
Thank you. And 255, contact arrival 1331.
Be right back, everyone. I'm just going to pause the simulator. Oh, just be 1 second.
Sky 123 Heavy, runway 26 right, descend by the start to 9,000, speed back 230 knots. Cirrus 117, Vancouver, runway 26 right.
Okay. I'm back.
Station 572, number 4, you're following Airbus southwest of Penn Meadows, joining at 15 outbound.
Copy number 4, looking at Glacier 572.
Station 572, contact arrival 1331.
331 for arrival, Glacier 572.
Okay. So what I got here is the, I'll show you this here, so you guys can see. So this is okay. So up here you guys see this is the map of that pilots have in the plane. So you guys can kind of see here. This is a VFR chart. So basically means VFR is visual flight rules. So I'm using this to help navigate. Okay. And basically what you want to do is you want to have the map orientated in the direction you're flying. So in the plane you want to have it basically orientated, like right now we're going towards the Vancouver airport. So I'm going to want it set up like this, because right here is the Vancouver airport. So like this. So I would have this like on my kneeboard like this, or like in the plane like this, kind of like that, and it'd be pointed into the direction where we're flying. So yeah, there's a lot of information on this, so it does, like, there is a lot to learn with flying in the maps and stuff. But the basics is this is a VFR chart, so it means visual flight rules, because we're flying. Right now we're flying with references to outside references. We're not flying with our instruments. That's called IFR. We're flying VFR. Okay? So I'll show you guys that.
Aircam 123, you're number 5, contact arrival 1331.
Okay. I smell campfire. Someone's having a campfire near my house. It smells really good. Okay, so there's the Vancouver airport, I believe. Or like down there. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna get the ATIS is 124.6. So I'm gonna go to 124.6 on my frequency here. This is gonna give me updated information that's really important to land. So it's really important to get this info. Oops, we'll get rid of this.
Error.
This keeps popping up when I 124.6.
Error. Error.
There we go, and that's on COM 1.
Vancouver International Information X-ray. 100 Zulu weather. Wind calm. Visibility more than 10. Sky clear. Temperature 14. Dew point -10.
Altimeter 2992.
2992. Arriving and departing runway 31. Advise on initial contact you have X-ray.
So I'm going to go to 2992 on the altimeter. Okay. So when I update my altimeter setting, this gives me a better reading of this instrument here. So arriving and departing. Oh, I'm going to unpause it and we're going to get the ATIS again here.
Vancouver International Information X-ray.
Information X-ray.
100 Zulu weather.
100 Zulu time. Winds are calm.
Visibility more than 10.
That's good.
Sky clear.
Sky clear.
Temperature 14.
Temperature 14. 2.10.
Altimeter
2992. Arriving departure runway 31.
Advise on initial contact you have X-ray.
Okay, so runway 31 is the active runway, and information X-ray. So what I'm going to do when I call Vancouver Tower, I'm going to say Vancouver Tower with information X-ray, so he knows what information you have. So runway 31 is the active. The winds are calm. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to look on the map. And I'm gonna look for runway. So that was our flight path so far.
You'll be following the 777 joining a 14-mile pound. 117, contact arrival 1331.
Okay, runway 3. That campfire smells really good. So runway 31 is the active.
Draft is approved on descent to the northwest here through 5000.
Two 6 right, 26 left. So runway 31 is so runway 13. So runway 31 would be this one right here. So this is the active runway right here. So on the Vancouver airport they have one runway, 2 runways, 3 runways, 4 runways, 5, 6. There's actually 6 runways here. So like one runway has 2. You can land, depends on the winds. You can land from one direction or the other. Okay, so you want to land into the wind. Hey, Sean, welcome to the stream.
357 runway 26 right for traffic heading of 215 and descend under.
Does that make sense, guys? So we're landing into the wind because that's the safest way to land an airplane. Okay, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 runways in Vancouver, as far as I know. I could be wrong. At the So, yeah. So that means 31 is the. This is the active runway. So basically, we're gonna follow the river in, and then like because this is a controlled airport in real life, we'd be being told what to do. So we'll close that. We've been told like what to do, but
Vancouver International
yeah.
Information X-ray. 100 Zulu weather. Wind calm.
Right 030 and 16000, 170.
Look at 826 right altimeter 301 is to Charlie. Yeah, 357 to 77,000.
Hi, are you the guy who paints miniature soldiers? Yep, that's me. Yep. I do. So guys, I do live streaming for tabletop gaming miniature painting. And I also do flight simulating, and I also do juggling, and then I'm thinking of live streaming like fitness training and other things as well. So yeah, so I do a bunch of different things for live streaming. So today we're just doing flight simulating stuff. So yeah, I would like to live stream maybe doing like some workouts at the track. I was a I was a running instructor as well, so I've done a lot of things in my life, and I just go from one thing to the next. So I can't really stick with one thing long enough. So you were up for many stuff. Yes. I do a lot. Like, I can't stick with one thing. And if you're like me, if you're someone who like quits things, don't feel bad, because I have that personality type. So yeah, don't feel bad about it, because there's people like me out in the world that are like, they get bored easily and blah 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 blah, and then like I can't stick to one thing, and it's like, oh, Chris is this, he's doing this. Like, no, I'm just, you know what I mean? Have you looked into those miniatures from Greytown, New Zealand? Oh, Hefty Hideaway Girl. I looked into them, but I didn't buy anything. They looked really cool and interesting, but I haven't really like looked at it any further than what you sent me. Yeah. But they looked really awesome. So there's another airport. I think that's a smaller airport by this. Yeah, that airport is. Just one sec. That airport is Boundary Bay. So there's the Vancouver International. In real life, I don't know if we'd be able to fly this here, because it's like for airlines, but that's okay. So the active runway is 31 here.
Thank you.
Some of them are based on wars that happened in New Zealand. That's really cool. That's awesome. So it's like realistic. That's awesome. Yeah, it's like historical. That's great. Yeah, because like the miniature painting I do, it's not based on a real, like, it's just like a fantasy thing, right? So. Okay, see that runway lights? That's where we're gonna land. So what I'm doing.
Gas 357, contact Vancouver round mile 1331. Encore 3155, Rob, good evening, 26 ready to Australia, altimeter 3019.
You should have another look. Yeah, for sure. They look pretty cool. I can maybe buy like a sample and try painting one. Hefty Hideaway Girl, do they come unpainted, or I can't remember if they come unpainted or not. $3,500 feet in descending. Okay, I'm gonna do my approach checks, and we'll call the Vancouver Tower. Flight instrument sets, radios checked, ATIS has been checked, the mixture is full rich, carb is on, airspeed's good. So I'd say Vancouver Tower, November 172 Sierra Papa, we're in the control zone looking to do a full stop. Call the tower. I will. I think they paint them. Okay, so Vancouver Tower, it goes, you guys want to have Kermit as the tower? Let's see if we can do that. So Kermit the Frog's going to be the tower. I don't know if I can do the Kermit voice like him. But... Alright, you can... No, I can't do it. Sorry, Kermit. You just can't do it. You want to do some Kermit voices for everyone? I'm Kermit the Frog here. It ain't easy being green sometimes. I know, Kermit. You say that all the time.
Question
He always says it ain't easy being green. Alright guys, so Moncton Tower, November 162 is here. Papa, we're looking to do a full stop landing. He says, Roger, you're cleared you're cleared the right base for runway 31. Full stop. Cleared right base, runway 31. Kermit, we're matching. My shirt matches your hair. What do you think about that? I remember that YouTube video I saw about funny conversations between the pilots in the tower. Oh yeah. Yeah, that can be funny. I'm Kermit the Frog here. Alright Kermit, we're gonna land here. You ready? He just looks at me. He likes to see everyone on the chat too. Okay, Kermit, take a break. Alright, here we go. So we're going to be setting up for a landing. We've been cleared the base for runway 31. I'm going to put 1 notch of flaps right away. And I'll do my left to right checks, make sure it's full rich, throttle's good. That's good, mic's good, rudder's good. Fuel's on both. Circuit breakers are in. Make him talk. I can't force Kermit to talk. He gets in these like moods. Sometimes he's like super talkative. If I give him a Coke at night, he's usually talking a lot more. But then he gets pretty hyper, so we're gonna put 2 notch of flaps. We're pitching back, pitching back, pitching back. We're gonna be pitching for about 70 to 60 knots, and that will allow us to make our landing. No, I'm serious, man. Kermit, he's an interesting guy. I gave him the keys to my truck. He got to go joyriding in Vancouver. He really liked that. Right, Kermit? But yeah. Okay, so right now I'm looking at the runway and I'm picking a reference point on the runway that's not moving. That's like where my plane's gonna basically like land, and I'm gonna touch down 500 feet after that. So I'm picking that reference point out here. So we're at 80 knots. I should be out of that white arc, because if I go below that white arc, the flaps are gonna, that won't be good. Okay, so I'm bringing the power back. Beautiful out, eh? Look at this. Oh. This just popped up. What a beautiful friggin' day in Vancouver. This is actually real winds and weather in Vancouver at this time, so. By the way, do you work in a plane-related job? I was a flight instructor before, but right now I do, I have a regular job in Vancouver where I do property maintenance and sales, and yeah, that's my day job right now. But I used to be a flight instructor. I just don't have time to do it right now. But I would love to get back into aviation someday. So maybe we can get back into flying somehow through like streaming. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Okay. So November 172 Sierra Papa, you're clear to land, runway 31. Clear to land, November 172 Sierra Papa. So we're cleared to land. Looking at the runway, I'm looking at my reference points. I'm adding a little bit of power because the plane's sinking a bit. Keeping my airspeed. Okay. Looks pretty good. I got 1 red light on that. There's 4 lights on the left. So I got 2 red. That's good. That means we're at the right glide slope path for a safe landing. There's runway 31. The winds are calm. So I'm going to bring the power back. Go to a cruise attitude. We've been cleared to land, so we're good. I'm going to pitch up a little bit. Boom. And that's that. So I'll put the park and brake on. And flaps up. And we'll Vancouver Tower requests, we're going to do a stop and go. I'll let you do maybe 1 circuit for now. That's approved, cleared to stop and go, runway 31. So we're going to take off right now. We should probably hurry up because there would be planes like behind us. If you look at the altimeter, this airport's pretty much at sea level, so that's kind of cool. There we go. Airspeed's alive. Full power's achieved. Temperatures and pressures look good. No deer on the runway. Okay, so we're going to take off. There we go. So I'm pitching for about 70 knots. Keeping 310 on the heading indicator in front of me. And yeah, that looks pretty good. There's a deer. Did you see a deer? Yeah, I think I gotta get that turned off because like that's kind of distracting, eh? So we'll bring our flaps to cruise. And now I'm gonna do a 15-degree angle of bank to the left. So a standard circuit is a left-hand circuit. So we're gonna do a left-hand circuit. And then 1,000 feet, we'll go to cruise attitude, attitude power trim. Okay, so there's our runway. So we're doing a 90-degree reference with the runway. So there we go. So we want that. We want to basically fly here for the circuit. So I better turn right away. We're 100 feet too high, but that's okay. In real life, if you're flying a circuit, you have like a little bit of like wiggle room on the altitude. It's not like you have to be super precise, but you want to do your best. So there we go. That's good. So this is good. We have our runway at halfway up the beam bar. That's perfect. So we want that. I'm picking a point out there, flying towards it. Doing my left to right checks. Looks good. Both, which is full ridge. Flaps are up. It's good. Vancouver Tower, November 172 Sierra Papa, left down one runway, 314 a. We'll do a full stop this time. Full stop. That's approved. Your number, so he says your number, let's say he says your number 2, follow, Air Canada plane, 6 miles final. Number 2, November 172 Sierra Papa. Or we'll say Air Canada 12 miles final or something. So there's an Air Canada plane, probably an airline plane flying here. He would tell us like, he would say like, what type of plane it would be. And then there's another plane on final somewheres, and then so we basically wait for that Air Canada plane to be at our wingtip, and then we turn afterwards. Okay, so the Air Canada plane is past our wingtip. I'm going to turn now. We're pretty far out, so it's good. Close this. Okay, wait a minute. I think I'm screwing this up a bit. I turned pretty... no, it looks alright. What I'm doing, I thought this runway was... Can we skydive? Sure! You guys want to go skydiving? I did that before once. We can simulate skydiving if you want. So when you skydive, this door is open, like that, and you jump out. I'm sure there's a skydive simulator. We're pretty low, so I'm gonna add some power. Put one notch of flaps right away. Oh, my simulator. Oh, that's good. November 172 Sierra Papa, you're clear to land runway 31. Full stop. Clear to land, November 172 Sierra Papa. We're gonna dump some flaps. We got our airspeed. Now we're like pretty high up, so we're good. Still a little ways to go. Let's go full flaps. Pretty much we have full flaps. There we go. Maybe we should do some flying in the in Africa. That'd be fun. The challenge of flying in Africa is like the humidity and the temperature is hotter, so the plane doesn't perform as well than like out in Vancouver. Look at that! Look how cool! Look at the graphics. Isn't that cool? So what we'll do, we'll land and then maybe we can taxi. I don't have the airport diagram, but we can kind of just taxi to the. I think I'd have to go here, 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 or something. I don't know. Taxiing can be a pain in the ass too. Okay. So landing a plane, you get to a certain attitude and you just go to cruise, or a certain like height above the runway, cruise attitude, and you hold this, the airspeed's bleeding off, and you slowly pitch the plane up a little bit. There we go, and we land. Yay, we all lived. Alright, so taxiing is, yeah, it's a little bit. We'll try taxiing. It won't be perfect. I don't really... It's a little bit challenging with the flight simulator. There we go. We can take this taxiway here. So this is there. Can't really see what that says. I don't know. Okay, let's go hop in a bigger plane and do an IFR flight. I think I want to show you guys a different plane. Something a little bit more interesting, because let's go in a jet. We're going to take off in a jet. Cirrus the jet. Okay, this is way more advanced than like what I'm used to, so bear with me. We'll go 3D cockpit command look. So I'll show you guys taking off this plane. It's a lot faster.
100 Zulu weather. Wind calm. Visibility more than 10. Sky clear. Temperature 14. Dew point -10. Altimeter 2992. Arriving and departing runway 31. Advise on initial contact you have Yankee. Vancouver International Information Yankee. 100 Zulu weather. Wind calm, visibility more than 10. Sky clear, temperature 14, dew point -10. Altimeter 2992. Arriving and departing runway 31.
Charlie, India, Romeo, Romeo, Uniform, Sierra.
I'm just gonna put the autopilot on.
Alpha, Echo, as filed. Maintain 15,000. Squawk 4700.
Cleared IFR to Kilo, Papa, Alpha, Echo, as filed. Maintain 15,000. Squawk 4700. Charlie, India, Romeo, Romeo.
Is that too
Uniform,
loud?
Sierra.
Might be too loud for you guys.
Charlie, India, Romeo, Romeo, Uniform, Sierra, runway 31. Taxi via Hotel 4, Hotel, Echo.
Runway 31, taxi via Hotel 4, Hotel, Echo, Charlie, India, Romeo, Romeo, Uniform, Sierra.
So cleared IFR to, couldn't see what that was, but basically when you go and you put the flight simulator or the autopilot on, the plane, like we're watching basically the plane fly itself right now. So I'm not
Charlie,
flying.
India, Romeo, Romeo, Uniform, Sierra. Contact ground on 127.15.
KPAE, KPAE.
Contact ground on 127.15. Charlie, India, Romeo, Romeo, Uniform, Sierra.
Sec. Hopefully I'm not overloading you guys.
Ground, Charlie, India, Romeo, Romeo, Uniform, Sierra.
KPAE. KPAE, KPAE airport. So what airport is he flying to? Somewhere's in the States. So this is where the plane is going. Oh, I can see it. It's like, okay, it's going south to, so it's flying from Vancouver to down here. It's actually a fairly quick flight. Prairie Field Airport in Seattle. That's like a quick flight. So I think we should just play this out. So basically what happens now, the plane is using the autopilot. I'm not flying. So we'll watch the flight simulator do its thing. And it's flying to Seattle. And it's also flying IFR. So basically what that means is the plane is flying with outlook. It's basically flying with the instruments inside. So we'll see what happens here. So it's 8 o'clock in Vancouver. We'll probably start doing some like miniature painting. I'll have to switch over to miniature painting. And yeah, just hopefully you guys can see. Yeah, you guys can see pretty good. We're at the 2-hour mark. This plane's going to be a lot faster than what we've been flying. Alright, he's taxiing. Uh-oh. Where's the flight simulator going? In the grass? Okay. Interesting. Hopefully this is safe. It should, the plane should be turning. Yeah, here we go. It's turning on the, I think this is the runway it's going to take off. He's in position to take off. Here we go. So notice how much faster this plane is. Here we go. So you just put the gears up.
Charlie, India, Romeo, Romeo, Uniform, Sierra. Contact center on 133.7.
Contact center on 133.7, Charlie, India, Romeo, Romeo, Uniform, Sierra. Center, Charlie, India, Romeo, Romeo, Uniform, Sierra.
Charlie, India, Romeo, Romeo, Uniform, Sierra, Charlie, Yankee, Victor, Romeo. Altimeter 2992.
Charlie, Yankee, Victor, Romeo, altimeter 2992, Charlie, India, Romeo, Romeo, Uniform, Sierra.
Nice little sunset happening in
Charlie,
Vancouver.
India, Romeo, Romeo, Uniform, Sierra. Fly heading 210.
Heading 210, Charlie, India, Romeo, Romeo, Uniform, Sierra.
Just moving his.
Charlie, India, Romeo, Romeo, Uniform, Sierra. Fly heading 140.
Heading 140, Charlie, India, Romeo, Romeo, Uniform, Sierra.
Yeah, it's gonna be a quick flight.
Charlie, India, Romeo, Romeo, Uniform, Sierra. Resume on navigation.
On navigation, Charlie, India, Romeo, Romeo, Uniform, Sierra.
Yeah. It's pretty cool, eh? So, so there's Vancouver. Look how much higher this plane is flying compared to what we were doing, right? So it's like way faster, way higher. So we're already at 10,000 feet and climbing. 11,000. $12,000. 13,000. I don't know what altitude it's going to, but we'll just keep the climb.
Charlie, India, Romeo, Romeo, Uniform, Sierra. Contact center on 124.2.
Contact center on 124.2. Charlie, India, Romeo,
Error.
Romeo, Uniform, Sierra.
Error.
So it's switching over to
Center, Charlie, India, Romeo,
Center.
Romeo, Uniform, Sierra.
Charlie, India, Romeo, Romeo, Uniform, Sierra, Charlie, Yankee, Victor, Romeo. Altimeter 29992.
Charlie, Yankee, Victor, Romeo, altimeter 29992. Charlie, India, Romeo, Romeo, Uniform, Sierra.
Charlie, India, Romeo, Romeo, Uniform, Sierra. Descend and maintain 15,000.
Down to 15,000. Charlie, India, Romeo, Romeo, Uniform, Sierra.
descending to 15,000 feet. So there's our flight path so far. Pretty uneventful now. The plane's in like cruise settings here. We're talking to center, so he's basically just maintaining his heading altitude. It's pretty straightforward. This would be beautiful in real life. Holy smokes. You know how nice this would be right now? It would be amazing. We made a lot of ground actually. It's not too far away. It's probably a good time for Kermit to start talking. Pretty. Ugh. Maybe we can get the radio calls for where we're going in the meantime. So, KPAE Airport. So we can go listen to them. The only thing is, I gotta see if it's... Yeah, I think they do it. We'll have to look. So live ATC.
Charlie, India, Romeo, Romeo, Uniform, Sierra, descend and maintain 12,000.
Yeah, it's good.
Down to 12,000. Charlie, India, Romeo, Romeo, Uniform, Sierra.
So we'll listen to... So KPAE is Everett, Washington, United States. So we'll have that in the background. So we would not be listening. You guys will be hearing that frequency, but in real life we wouldn't be on that frequency. We're like, because we're in the high level airspace, we're basically talking to center, and it's a bunch of controllers that like make sure everyone on the higher and mid level airspace, they basically just control them because we're flying IFR. But once we get closer to the airport, we'll be listening to them. So what a view. Look at that. There's a bunch of airports out here. There's another one. Look at that. This is a small little runway.
Charlie, India, Romeo, Romeo, Uniform, Sierra, descend and maintain 8,000.
Down to 8,000. Charlie, India, Romeo, Romeo, Uniform, Sierra.
So Moncton Center is just cleared us to 8,000 feet. So the flight simulator is descending to 8,000. So here we have our gears are up in the airplane. That's the light when the brakes are on. Flap settings. Elevator. This is the trim, I believe. Trim up and trim down. We got some information here I have to study up on. This is basically an old school GPS, I believe, so. And then we got, right now we're squawking 4700, that's our squawk code to air traffic controller. That's on. Sometimes when you're flying, the controller will say squawk ident, so what it means is he wants to see you show up on his screen, so if you click that, when you click squawk ident, you basically show up. You show up on his screen, and it's like it like glows like that. So that's what that does. Navigational 1173. This is our standby frequency for our navigational setup. I believe this is showing information on the engine, fuel information. Fuel burn. Okay. Right. Very nice out. Just seeing the sunset there. Isn't that nice? It's pretty cool. Wow, look at that. So this is what it looked like in real life right now. This is what's happening in real life.
Charlie, India, Romeo, Romeo, Uniform, Sierra, Kilo, November, Uniform, Whiskey, altimeter 2992.
Kilo, November, Uniform, Whiskey, altimeter 2992. Charlie, India, Romeo, Romeo, Uniform, Sierra.
Charlie, India, Romeo, Romeo, Uniform, Sierra, fly heading 160. Vectors for the visual, runway 34 left, descend and maintain 6,000.
Heading 160. Vectors for the visual, runway 34 left. Down to 6,000. Charlie, India, Romeo, Romeo, Uniform, Sierra.
Charlie, Delta, Delta.
We'll just turn the volume down here. There we go. Star 96, thanks for the follow. On the next stream we might be doing miniature painting, or we could do juggling, and then I would like to do some streaming outdoors as well. So if you guys do follow me, expect different streams, like different things we'll be streaming. So one step at a time though. It's kind of nice just to let the autopilot do its thing. So basically the plane is flying with artificial intelligence for this flight, which is kind of nice. Wow, look at the view. This is real weather and winds tonight. Amazing. You know how cool this would be in real life, being up here? It would be really nice. Getting pretty close. We covered a lot of ground, so it's good.
Charlie, India, Romeo, Romeo, Uniform, Sierra, fly heading 160, descend and maintain 3,000.
Heading 160, down to 3,000, Charlie, India, Romeo, Romeo, Uniform, Sierra.
So we're going to get vectors for visual approach. So center is going to basically give us the headings to fly to make the landing. Visual approach, that's good. So we're going to visually see the airport. So KPAE, ground tower approach in Everett, Washington, United States. Sunset.
We can do that, that works.
Charlie, India, Romeo, Romeo, Uniform, Sierra, fly heading 070.
Heading 070, Charlie, India, Romeo, Romeo, Uniform, Sierra.
So we're going to heading of 070. Wow, look at that. Oh, it's Seattle. There we go. Look at that. Leslie, thanks for the follow. Welcome. So tonight's flights, guys. We did some cool flying in the Cessna 172 around Vancouver. Then we switched planes. Right now, the artificial intelligence is flying the plane, so we're kind of just watching from the cockpit, so I can kind of explain a little bit what's going on. Wow, what a view! Isn't this absolutely gorgeous? Look at that. So this is real. This would be real weather and real. This would be the real deal in real life.
Charlie, India, Romeo, Romeo, Uniform, Sierra, fly heading 010.
Heading 010, Charlie, India, Romeo, Romeo, Uniform, Sierra.
So this is real time, real weather. So it'd be see the sunset.
Runway 34, takeoff, northeast departure, please.
What you're hearing in the background is the real radio calls in real time at the airport we're landing. So for you guys, so you guys understand. Is that the Northern Lights? What's going on up here? No, that's just. I think it is. Wait. I don't know what that is. So we took off out of Vancouver and we're landing at an airport called Everett, Washington, United States.
India, Romeo, Romeo, Uniform, Sierra, fly heading 340. Report the field in sight.
Heading 340. We'll call the field. Charlie, India, Romeo, Romeo, Uniform, Sierra.
What you guys are hearing, I believe.
Center. Charlie, India, Romeo, Romeo.
Because the
Uniform,
gears are up
Sierra.
and we're close to the ground, or
India, Romeo, Romeo, Uniform, Sierra. Contact tower on 120.2.
we're hitting a certain
Contact tower
airspeed.
on 120.2.
So-
Charlie, India, Romeo, Romeo. Uniform, Sierra.
The artificial intelligence is not putting the gears down.
Tower, Charlie,
And he-
India, Romeo.
Oh, there we go.
Romeo, Uniform.
I think that's
Sierra.
what it was. But he still didn't put the gears down. So I don't know why. Anyways. I think that's what that annoying beeping sound was. Here we go, guys. So we're going to watch the autopilot do a landing. So we're flying IFR. He did a visual contact, so we can runways in sight. So now he's flying VFR. We got the runway in sight. So the rest is just visual. I believe he's just flying visually. Wow, what a view. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? Okay, gears are down. We got 3 green, so all our 3 indicators in the plane are working properly. So we know our gears are...
Charlie, India, Romeo, Romeo, Uniform, Sierra. Runway 34 left. Clear to land.
We're clear to land.
Runway 34 left. Cleared to land. Charlie, India, Romeo, Romeo. Uniform, Sierra.
What a beautiful, beautiful night here. Isn't that something? Okay. So we're cleared to land. So we've got 3 red, 3 white on the lights here. So that means our approach path is in a desirable approach path for landing. If you see 4 red, that means we're too low. If we see 4 white, that means we're too high. So this is what we want. Okay, we're getting down to about 90 knots. I'm just going to, again, I'm not flying, it's the artificial intelligence flying the plane. Looks pretty good to me. There's the wind socks. This tells us where the winds are, information on the winds. Winds are calm, I believe. Here we go. So he's going to pitch to cruise attitude. Boom. Hold that attitude. There we go. Nice landing.
Charlie, India, Romeo, Romeo, Uniform, Sierra, Gate, taxi via 34 left, Alpha, 6, Alpha, Alpha, 1, Kilo, 1, hold short of runway 34 left.
Key, taxi via 34 left, Alpha, 6, Alpha, Alpha, 1, Kilo, 1, hold short of 34 left, Charlie, India, Romeo, Romeo, Uniform, Sierra.
Alright, so we got our taxi clearance off the runway. So I think the simulator, yeah, is going to go and taxi us out. That was awesome. I think that's what you're seeing. I think we're seeing the northern lights. Yeah, we are. So there's like an app or something. Not an app, but there's like a... There's a way to get the northern lights on the flight simulator, so that's kind of cool.
Engine 26, bearing ground, clear the course, clear over here.
Charlie, India, Romeo, Romeo, Uniform, Sierra, cross runway 34, left.
Cross 34 left. Charlie, India, Romeo, Romeo, Uniform, Sierra.
Oh, I think the simulator is going through. No, I think he's got it.
North 3 on Mr. 2 mile report. Runway 34 right to left.
Let's cross the runway into the hangar.
Charlie, India, Romeo, Romeo, Uniform, Sierra, contact ground on 121.8.
Contact ground on 121.8. Charlie, India,
Error.
Romeo, Romeo, Uniform, Sierra.
Error.
Ground, Charlie, India, Romeo, Romeo, Uniform, Sierra.
Alright everyone, thanks for watching. That was a really interesting stream. I'm glad we did the artificial intelligence flight at the end. I think it was a pretty cool to fly, because we've been flying like the smaller planes since the beginning, so it was kind of cool to just run this plane here. And then we also got to fly IFR, so that was good. Changed things up a bit. Awesome, awesome. So I'm out of here. How do you open this? Let's open the door and get out of here. There you go.
Charlie, India, Romeo, Romeo, Uniform, Sierra, cleared IFR.
Oh no.
Kilo,
Error.
Tango, Charlie, Mike, as filed. Maintain
Error.
9,000, squawk 4700.
Let's turn that off.
Cleared IFR to Kilo, Tango, Charlie, Mike, as filed.
Error.
Maintain 9,000, squawk 4700. Charlie, India, Romeo, Romeo, Uniform, Sierra.
So the simulator wants to file another IFR flight. So we'll end the stream at this. So it's 9 o'clock p.m. Pacific time. Thanks everyone for watching. And yeah, so in the next stream we may be doing some miniature painting. We'll have to see what's next, or maybe some more flying. Who knows? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next stream. Bye for now.